everybody, I'm Carol Massa. I'm the founder of Earth School of Love here in East Greenwich. And part of the work that I do, part of the work that we do is around family values and traditions and upholding those traditions. And I have an amazing recipe that I got from an aunt. And I do think that I've been making this recipe, New York cheesecake, for probably close to 40 years. And I've worked out a lot of the bugs, and I am here to show you how to do the same thing. So we'll get started by going over some of the ingredients. This is, I have 3 blocks of cream cheese, and I've softened them already. You can leave them out at room temperature for a while. I often will use the microwave for maybe 30 seconds just to soften it a little bit. I use 6 eggs, and I have to separate them, the egg whites and the yolk. And here I have already separated 5 of them. I'm going to show you how to do it. I've saved 1 egg. The fresh lemon juice, half of a lemon in here, some vanilla extract, sour cream, got some sugar, and graham cracker crumbs, and flour. And what you'll need for equipment, obviously you'll need a beater, a hand beater, and a springform pan. And the reason it's called a springform pan will become evident as we make the cake and try to take it out. By using a springform pan, the sides will expand. The side of the pan expands, and you'll be able to actually lift the side off, and you'll be left with the cake. So I have already put some butter in the bottom of this pan, and what we're going to do is lay down the graham cracker crumb crust in the bottom. And you're not going to use the whole thing here. This is about 1.5 cups, which is one sleeve of graham cracker crumbs from the box. We're not going to use the whole thing because we want to use some of it for the topping later. So what I do is I use a little piece of wax paper to press down the crumbs, kind of move them around like that, and I just use some of my weight to press the crumbs into the bottom of the pan. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to put it in the refrigerator so that it has a chance to chill while we get everything else ready. Okay, so let's do this last egg so you have a chance to see. If a recipe calls for you to separate the eggs, it's really a very simple project. So I crack it here and separate the two and allow the egg white to just sort of, it's really cool, to just sort of flow out, and be careful you don't get any of the yolk in there, because if you do, when the time comes to beat the egg whites into stiff peaks, you'll have a really hard time doing that. Okay, so we can set these aside for now. And I'm going to begin beating the cream cheese and gently fold in the sugar. So I beat this for about 3 to 4 minutes. You don't want to overbeat it. And now it's time to add the egg yolks one at a time. Now I'm going to add the flour, the lemon juice, cream cheese, sour cream. So I've added 2 teaspoons of vanilla extract, and I've been heating this for about 3 minutes now. I'd say another minute to go. Okay, and I've preheated the oven to 350. And what I need to do now, in order to beat the egg whites, I need to clean these off really, really good in the sink and get the egg whites out of the refrigerator. All right, so I had to clean the beaters really, really good so that there was no egg yolk on here, because if there is, or if there's any in here, the egg whites will not form stiff peaks. And I've learned the hard way that when that doesn't happen, the cake doesn't rise, because the white is actually the souffle portion of the batter. So it's really important that while you're blending all of this, that you put the egg whites into the refrigerator just to chill a little bit, and that you clean these really, really good. So I'm hoping for the best. We're going to beat the egg whites now until they hopefully form stiff peaks, and then we will fold the egg whites into the batter, and there's a whole method to that, which I'll show you too. And then it's ready to go into the pan and into the oven. Take several minutes, don't lose hope. Starting to form little ripples. And we're almost there. I'm going to give it another minute. Okay, and you can see that the egg whites have formed little peaks. And very important part coming up. You don't want to just dump this in there and stir it. You want to do what's called folding. And I've learned that technique over the years. You will put the egg whites into the bowl, into the batter, of course. But then what you want to do is you want to think scoop. You want to scoop, push, scoop, push. And what you're really doing is you're sort of just going around. You're not stirring, you're lifting, bringing down, lifting and bringing down. So that's the motion, and you're trying to incorporate the egg whites, which will give the cake its lightness, its airiness. And you're going to do that maybe 12 times. You don't want to overdo it. And you'll know you're done when you don't see any more big puffy egg whites. And that's it. And now you're ready to pour it into the pan that is in the refrigerator chilling and cook it. And I'm going to save some so I have some batter to lick. And all you do is level it off. And that's it. So now what we're going to do, we're going to put this in the 350. We've preheated the oven to 350 degrees. We're going to cook this for 1 hour and 15 minutes. When the hour and 15 minutes is up, you're going to turn your oven off. Leave the cake alone. Don't open the door. Leave the cake in there to cool itself down at that temperature. And then after that hour, you're going to take it out and you're going to put it on a wire rack for another hour or so that it can cool at room temp. And then you're going to chill it overnight. And I'm going to show you what the final product looks like in just a moment. So the cake is cooking in the oven. We'll be in there for about another hour or so. But in the meantime, I have a surprise. I made one yesterday and I chilled it overnight. And I'm going to go get it out of the refrigerator and we're going to cut into it and have a piece. Okay? So here's the final product, and there are graham cracker crumbs sprinkled on the top, and some white confectionery sugar also on top to give it a festive look. And that all gets done at the very, very end. So right before you take the springform side off, that's when you garnish it. So let's cut into it. I have it on my aunt's old white milk glass tray, cake stand. And there it is. And you can see that it's nice and mellow looking, yellow. There's a light crust on the bottom, a little bit of little brown on the side, and delicious.